Hey, hi everyone, welcome back to my tutorials. Today we will talk about a very important concept that is assertions. Okay, so far we have covered a very good number of topics which is very helpful for the beginners. After learning all these concepts, so now it is time to understand more about Selenium WebDriver. So today we will learn about the assertions concept in Selenium. Okay, so the assertions are the heart and soul of our Selenium WebDriver, the Selenium automation, because without assertions, basically you cannot proceed. There's no point of automating any test cases. Okay. So what is basically assertion? The assertion is nothing but it's a validation. Okay. So we are writing the automation script, automation code to do the validation. You're writing the test case to validate some output in the application. Okay. So that is your expected value. So how do we validate those expectation in our Selenium in automation? Okay, for that assertion is required. So these are the 3 points we are going to see in this particular tutorial. We are going to understand about what is assertion, and what are types of assertions available, and what are the examples of implementation. Okay, so let me write a simple program for this to explain the assertions in a better way. Okay, so let me give the name as assertions. I'm giving the class name as assertions. Okay, you can give any name, no problem. So here, before actually implementing directly in the Selenium WebDriver, I would like to make it more simple. I'll give you some examples how assertion works. So I'm not going to put a direct Selenium code. Okay, I'm just going to get help of @test. Okay, just to show the validation. Public void verify one. I'll give verify one. Okay, basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some validation. For example, I want to verify whether 1 is equal to 1 or not. Okay, I want to verify whether 1 is equal to 2 or not. So how do I verify this? For example, one of my test cases is that I'm expecting a value that is 1. Okay, that is my expectation. But if I'm getting, instead of 1, if I'm getting 2, that is my validation failure, right? So the same thing I'm going to show you with the help of the assert class. Okay, there are some different types of assert available in the assert class itself. Okay, so I'll show you that also with this type of example. So basically I was talking about types of assertions. So we have two types of assertion. We have hard assertion and we have soft assertion. What is the difference between hard assertion and soft assertion? So hard assertion is something whenever we do validation, if that validation fails, if that assertion fails, our test will stop. Okay, so that is called basically hard assertion. So about soft assertion, there is a different concept itself. Okay, so we will talk about the soft assertion later in a different tutorial in more detailed way. Okay, in the hard assertion itself, so we have total 6 types of methods available. Okay, we have assert equals, we have assert not equals, then we have assert true, assert false, and we have assert null and assert not null. Okay, so we will start with assert equals so that you can understand it better. Okay, so let me implement the assert equals with example, a very simple example. Okay, I was talking about 1 is equal to 1, 1 is equal to 2. Okay, that I'm going to show you with examples now. Okay, so assert is the class here. So if I press dot, then we have so many methods. As you can see, assert equals. So assert equals has assert equals boolean type, and if you go a little down, you have bytes type and character. Okay, collection, double, float, integer, string, everything we have. So as per our needs, we can use any of these types of methods. So for example, I'm going to go with assert equals integer type. Okay, so this is the value I have to pass. Okay, let me just verify 1 equal to 1. Okay, so my actual is basically 1 and I'm expecting also 1. So if both are matching, then my assertion will be pass and my test will be pass. Okay, let me import this TestNG notation also. So basically, every assert method contains minimum 2 parameters. Okay, as you can see, there are 2 parameters. So now let me run this code and see whether it is giving me pass or not. Okay, as you can see, it is getting passed. Okay, because the value actual one is equal to expected one, so it is passed. So now let me change the value. The expected value should be 2. Then what happens if I run this code? So now the validation happened in the assert equals method, and it is giving me failure. The reason, I'm expecting 2, but I'm get my actual is 1. So let me just show you that log also. So you can see that expected is equal to 2, but I found 1. So there is a failure in the assertion. So whenever there is a failure in the assertion, it will fail the test also. Okay, so this is the assertion error it's giving. Okay, what is the error here? The assertion error. Okay, so this is the purpose of using the assert equals integer type. Similarly, let's go ahead with the string type. Okay, public void verify 2. So here I will use again assert dot assert equals. I'll go with let's say some string value. Yeah, so this is the assert equals string actual string expected. So let me use this. So here let me just type some string value like okay, so my surname is Saikia. So if I use here Saikia, okay, let me use that direct test here also. Okay, so I'm going to run this method only. So let me run this. So it's going to give me pass because my both the strings are similar, equal. Okay, so if I give Psyche one more a, then it will fail the test case because there is a mismatch between the expected and the actual. Okay, so you can see expected Psyche, okay, but found Psyche. Okay, so this is the difference between assert equals integer type and assert equals string type. So you can use any type of assert equals, okay, but the concept is the same. Now let me implement the same with the help of selenium code. How I'll do it? Okay, so I'll be launching the browser with a URL, and I'll show you with one proper test case. So for that, let me go ahead and so I'm not going to write it again. So I'm going to simply copy this entire lines of code. Okay, so I'm going to put it here before my direct test. Okay, so here let me just initialize the WebDriver also. So this is my URL mayoclinic.org website. So this is the website. Okay, so I have explained about these lines of codes in my previous so many tutorials. Okay, so you can please have a look if you're visiting my channel as a beginner for the first time. Okay, so now this is the Mayo Clinic website. I'm going to implement one test case with the help of assert. Okay, basically assert equals we will see first. Okay, so I'm going to write another test annotation method. Okay, so I'll go with public void verify web title. Okay, so this is the test case I'm going to verify. So so here I have already used driver.get to get my URL, that is the mayoclinic.org on my particular web browser. Okay, so now I'm going to basically get a title of the website. So what is the title here? The title is Mayo Clinic hyphen Mayo Clinic. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead with driver.get title method. This also we have seen in our previous tutorials in detailed manner. This is going to get a title of that particular website mayoclinic.org. So I'm going to store in a string variable. Okay, this is because I'm going to do the text validation. Okay, so I'll give a variable name like this is going to be my actual web title. Okay, so now I'm going to do the comparison between this actual and expected, right, with the help of assert equals method. So for that, let me do expected web title. Okay, so here in the string format, I have to give the title of the particular website. So I know the title, I can see it, so I can manually type it Mayo Clinic. But the thing is, you don't have to manually type it also. I'll tell you about that also. Okay, so Mayo Clinic hyphen Mayo, make sure that the space and everything is properly written, otherwise it will fail the test case. Okay, so I hope it is correct. Mayo Clinic hyphen and space Mayo Clinic. Okay, it's properly written. Okay, so now let me use the assert condition here. Assert dot assert equals. Okay, so I'm going to assert equals of string type. Where is that? Yeah, so let me use the assert equals of string time. This is the string time actual and string expected. So let's use this. Now as soon as I have used that method, it's automatically picking the variables. Okay, so you can see actual web title. So let me change the, okay, so and it's got an error, let me correct it. Okay, so yeah, so this is now proper. Okay, so now you can see variables are also provided here. So this is basically my actual web title, and this is the expected web title. So now let me run this code and see whether it is able to match it or not, because it is going to get the title and it will compare with this expected value. So this is the value. Okay, so now let me run the code. So it is launching the browser. Okay, so my test is run. Now let's see the result. Okay, so you can see the test is pass. Okay, because the text of my expected is equal to my actual text, which is driver get title. Okay, so that's why my test is pass. Okay, this is my pass result. So now let me do one thing. I will see how can I fail this particular test case. Okay, so for that I'll be giving some wrong expectation in my expected web title value. Okay, so that we can see whether this assert equals can work whenever there is a failure or not. Okay, so for that, so I'm going to give a different text here. Okay, so that it gets mismatched. Okay, I'm going to use some like a, I'm giving an extra text here, a. Okay, it will mismatch the expected and the actual. So now let me run the code. So I'm expecting this particular text. Okay, but my driver.get title is going to get the proper title of the website. So there will be a mismatch between both the values. So as you can see, this is failed. Okay, so it is failed. My this particular verify web title method is failed. So now let's see the reason behind the failure. So as you can see, there is again assertion error. We have understood it here. Now see what is, so you can see expected is Mayo Clinic hyphen Mayo Clinic A. Okay, but found Mayo Clinic hyphen Mayo Clinic. Okay, so basically my expectation had extra text here, but I did not get it. That's why the assertion has failed and test is also stopped. Okay, so this is how this assert equals works, whether it is integer type or string type or any other type. Okay, so this is how it is implemented. Now let's understand what is assert not equals. So basically assert equals is the comparison between actual and expected, and it gets passed only when if actual and expected gets matched. But in the case of assert not equals, so that will be working exactly opposite to the assert equals. So which means that whenever both the things do not match, then it will pass the test. If both the things matches, then it will fail the test. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let me go with not equals. Okay, so I'm going to go with, now both the things are not matching, right? Both the things are not matching. So in this case, the test is going to be passed. Okay, now let me run this code and I'll show you that. Okay, so the expectations are not going to be similar. Actual and expected are going to be different. But even if it is different, it is going to pass. It is going to do the exactly opposite of assert equals, because I'm using assert not equals. See this is pass now. Although there is a difference between the actual and expected, but it's pass because I'm using assert not equals. Okay, so now let's understand how it gets failed. If I make it exactly the same, then it will fail the test case. Now let's run the code. So this time it is going to be same, the actual and expected value, but my test is going to be fail because it is assert not equals. Now let's see the result. See, this is failed. Okay, so if you see the result also, so did not expect Mayo Clinic, okay, but found Mayo Clinic. So basically it was not expecting to be Mayo Clinic because I am using assert not equals. So that's the reason it failed. So this is the difference between the assert equals and assert not equals. Okay, so now let me show you one more technique here. Here I am providing the text of the title, right? So I may make a mistake. Let's not type it manually here. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is, let me close these two open browsers because I have not used driver.pit. Okay, so here, so I'm going to not provide the text directly here. I can use the same actual web title variable here. So instead of this, I can simply put this here. Okay, because this is the get title, the actual value that will be stored here. I can provide after expected web title equal to this particular value I can provide. So if I do this, I don't have to write it manually, because if I write manually this particular text, then I may make a mistake because there are space available. Otherwise, it will simply give me a failure. Okay, so now let me run this code by providing in this way. So let me go with assert equals itself. Okay, so let's see it is running or not. So now let's see the result. Yeah, so as you can see, the test is pass. So without giving the value here manually, I have basically provided the variable of this string actual web title. So it is able to match both the expected and actual, and it is giving me the result. Okay, so I don't have to manually provide the value here. So this is about the assert equals and assert not equals, and we have also few more methods in hard assertions. Those are assert true, assert false, assert null, and assert not null. So we will see those in a different tutorial. So I'll be creating different examples for those methods. Okay, so and finally also we'll see about the soft assertions. Okay, so the basic idea of this tutorial was to make you understand about the assertions, how it is implemented in our Selenium WebDriver. This is how the assertion is used in our Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so I hope you have understood this topic. Okay, so if you have any questions, any doubts, please drop those in the comment section. And if you're visiting my channel for the first time, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have liked the video, please hit the like button. Thank you. Thanks for watching.